Okay, looks like we have sound working, the video's working today. It's good stuff. So I'm going to do a quick sort of walkthrough here of this session that I did last night with Olga Kern, piano player extraordinaire. And it was a recital. She played for about 2.5 hours or so. And I was recording it multi-track. I had 5 mics set up on the piano. You can see what some of them are here. There's a 414 pair, kind of an ORTF setup. And then there was a QTC50 pair. And really, these are very different high fidelity mics. 414 has a lot of character, high-end boosts, an interesting bass response that can sometimes get boomy, but when used as further away from sources, I find, like in a room, you kind of get this bass warmth, I guess, but you have to deal with it. The QTCs are like a reference microphone, very flat, extended frequency range. Then underneath the Steinway Grand, I had the SM81, which I've had good luck with on getting low frequency content, but in this case, it didn't work very well. Then there was also a talkback mic for Olga and a talkback mic for the stage for announcements and introductions and so forth. So the way that I set this up, if you look at those tracks there, you'll see the inputs are 17 through 23. And I just want to make sure this is in fact working. Yeah, it looks like it's working. All right. The inputs are 17 through 23. That is actually my third interface coming in. So it's 1 through 8 on that unit, which is 17 through 1 through 7, which is 17 through 23. Those, and on that particular unit, the Audient ASP880, there's a direct DB25 output. So the microphones come into these first 7 inputs. Then on the back of that device, I send those out to the live sound console, which I can then throw up into the PA system in the hall, which really for this concert was just these last 2 channels here. It was just that. I did not amplify the piano at all in the hall. And it's a 1,300 person room with doors open. So it's a big room, not a concert hall really. And the piano sounded great in the back, completely unamplified. So the way that I actually set up this session is you have your inputs, pretty straightforward, and you'll notice that all of those channels go out to bus 10. Bus 10 is over here and is called my dry mics bus. And all of those mics go into bus 10. They each have their own sends, 1, 2, and 3, which go to my reverbs here, which are 2 sort of different sounding spaces. This 3.2 hall here, I really like. Sounds great once you do some EQ work on it. And I also EQ the input coming into it. It has a lot of mid-range. And then from that dry mics, you'll notice it goes out to bus 30, as does the reverb. So at this point, all of my material is going out bus 30. And bus 30 comes into this bus called the record bus. That channel has compression, EQ, and a limiter. If we take a look at that, I'm not sure if that's popping up, but it's not ridiculous compression. It just bumps it up about 2 decibels. The EQ, I was doing a little bit out in the mid-range, and then the limiter pushed it up another 2 decibels. So nothing crazy here, just kind of pushing the level up. And that goes out bus 40. So I still can't hear anything. Bus 40 comes into this channel, which is what I'm listening to, and that goes out my stereo out. So the flow of the channels is, so far, these 7 plus the reverb all go to bus 30, and bus 30 has essentially master processing on it. There's also this solo bus here, which I'm not using. So bus 30 has this mastering processing, let's say, compression, a little bit of EQ, and just trying to get the level up a little bit. That master processing is then going through and out to bus 40, which is coming in here, which goes to the stereo out, and I can hear on my headphones. But there's also this track, and this track is recording bus 40, and you'll notice it is muted. And then I would hit record, and then in my session, we would hear and see the stereo file being recorded during the concert. Now, during the concert, the only tracks that I actually ended up recording, smaller, were the QTC 50s. I just thought that they sounded best. So I didn't use the 81, any of these up here. Just the QTCs with a little EQ. You can see none of these are really peaking. They're not hitting. I mean, they get up close to the top, but my limiter isn't even set. It's set at -1. So when these were peaking at 0.9, they're actually not even getting up to the top. The limiter is really not kicking in. It is a little bit, but so you also notice in the session a lot of notes and markers here. These were all the pieces she played in the second half of the concert. There were 3 encores. The first half was a little more extended like that. But that's basically it. That was how I set up the session to record a 2-track at the end. Obviously, this is really not, you're not able to do this if you don't have a dress rehearsal and you get to really listen. So I knew going into the concert that it was just going to be the 2 QTCs here. And I got to just basically sit and enjoy the concert and make sure that levels were appropriate when she started really hammering. And it was good. I don't think we ever peaked or anything. That's it. So hopefully that was kind of interesting. I just thought I'd walk through it today on the 4th of July. Woohoo! Because I had it up, just making sure it worked.